Hello, viewers. Good evening, and welcome to today's section of my career clarity podcast. A section where we have our wonderful guest here who will be taking us through very exciting topic today. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly do that and just click on the notification button so that when we have a new episode for you, you'll be able to see it. Without much talk today, let's welcome our guest, Mr. Uwem Umana. How are you today, Mr. Uwem?
Hello, Mr. Joe. Very good to see you once again. I'm doing very, very well. Thank you for asking. What about you?
I'm all right. How was your weekend?
Weekend has been superb. Thanks for asking. Good sunshine. So what can we say? Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a very good feedback for the last episode, and although feedback
Okay.
is still coming in.
Okay.
And today we want to obviously continue on this topic of career clarity.
Yep.
And
Yep.
today will be last week we talked on discovering a career path,
Yeah.
and which our audience was really received. So today we'll be looking at goal setting and career planning.
Yep.
Yeah, so before we go into today's section, can you give us a little bit overview of goal setting and career planning?
Well, goal setting and career planning, they go hand in hand because everything in life is about setting goals.
Yeah.
You don't want to just come into life and live life, without setting goals. So be it career and any career you're going into in life, it's about setting goals. Are you
Yeah.
moving into a career? Are you switching careers? Are you moving laterally, career-wise, or are you moving vertically? Whichever direction you're taking, you're going, it's
Mhm.
all about setting goals
Yeah.
because goals take you from where you are to the next level to where you want to be. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So that brings me to my first question today, and that question also go in that line saying, how can people uh, people that are starting out in career, or maybe people that want to change career, and how can they set a realistic goals that is not overwhelming? How is that possible?
Thanks for
Like,
that, Joe.
yeah,
Okay. Have you finished?
yeah. I wanted to rephrase the question, like, how
Okay.
should they set a realistic career goals?
Okay. I mean, people who want to enter a new career, yeah,
Mm,
like students, yeah, or people who are switching careers
mm,
or transitioning from one career to another career,
yeah.
or even moving vertically, yeah,
Mm,
or
mm,
horizontally along careers. They should start by aligning their goals with three key components.
mhm,
Okay. The first one is self awareness, which we talked about
mhm.
in our previous episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The second one is market insight.
Mhm,
Yeah. And then the next thing is capacity.
mm,
Self awareness is all about knowing about yourself. Market insight is about what's the current market saying.
mhm.
Yeah. And then your capacity. So I would suggest begin first with a personal inventory.
Yeah.
What are your strengths, interests, and values? Okay. And the next thing I
Mhm,
would suggest is research your desired industry
mhm.
and try to understand the entry points, the required qualifications and certifications, and
Yeah.
also the future opportunities.
Mm,
Yeah. When you've done that, I would then say break big ambitions into
mhm.
smaller, measurable goals using the SMART framework. The SMART
Okay.
framework is simply your goal has got to be specific,
Mhm,
measurable,
mm,
achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, instead of saying something like, I want to work in tech, a
mhm,
SMART goal would be something like complete a Google data analytics certification within 3 months and
mhm.
apply to 5 entry-level roles by the following month. Yeah. You see, that is a little bit realistic and is aligning with your professional goal. You see what I'm
Mhm,
saying?
mhm.
And then you can now pair this up with mentorship, internship, or volunteer work to
Mm.
build a real world confidence and credibility. That would be my pathway of suggesting for people who want to be early career professionals setting realistic goals to move into a new career line.
Oh, that is a very brilliant one. So setting a career, a smart, specific goals, like following it with actions is yeah. Thank you so much. So this next question is say a little bit uh, community specific.
Okay.
In this obviously many of us were not born here, and a lot of people are still coming. And many people, when they come from, let's say, from Nigeria, for example,
Okay.
it look as if that they are in a new world. They begin to like somebody who is learning again. And with how things is, so many people they start out from maybe a available job or something like that, something that to keep the bills
Yeah. Yeah.
going. So, what is the best way for this set of people to transition into something that is more like to pursue a career in their desired field? Or maybe how can they advance their career? I mean, these specific people that are coming from our community, maybe from Africa, if I should put it that way.
Okay. Thank you for that. So you're basically talking about immigrants now.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that question. I think that's a very important question, Joe. Because when people leave their former landscape to a new landscape like here,
Yeah.
they must have had a life they lived before anyways, before they came here. And things were done a little differently from where they're coming from to where they're coming to.
Yeah.
So when you enter a new terrain, finding your footing can be quite a challenge. Can be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Can be a very interesting curve. So my suggestion would be the fact that immigrants must plan with both realism and strategy. The first thing I would always do, and I would always suggest and recommend very strongly, is start by auditing your previous qualifications and experience. Yeah, because wherever you're coming from, you've got previous qualifications and you've got experience against the demands of your new country's job market. There are always transferable skills. Skills are skills. Whether you're in Australia, you're in New Zealand, you're in Europe, in America, skill is skill. If you're good with dealing with data, you're good with dealing with data sets, whether you're in America, you're in England, you're in Nigeria, it doesn't matter. See what I'm saying? So that's the first thing, that audit. The next thing is, are your credentials recognized? Yeah. If you came into this country like a doctor from wherever you're coming from to here, do they recognize that your medical certification? If not, you might want to identify bridging programs that will bridge you into the new, into a certification that is recognizable in the industry. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Certifications or even vocational training that could enhance local employability now. Yeah. And then the next thing is you want to start building professional networks very early by attending local industry meetups, joining associations, or leveraging platforms like LinkedIn. Yeah. Consider starting with transferable roles. It's very important.
Yeah.
Or stepping stone opportunities that match some of your skills while opening doors to better align roles over time. Finally, be patient and persistent. Career transition is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And to encourage yourself, celebrate small wins and keep learning. That would be my sort of model. Yeah.
Okay. This brings me to a very, very important conversation that I wouldn't say is a conversation. It tends to be like a belief that a lot of people seems to, I don't know if it's because of maybe the network of people who many people meet when they come to this country. Previously, I've heard people, they will say, oh, forget about the qualification and your job experience in Nigeria. It doesn't matter. You need UK work experience. I don't know if you have come across that belief before, and what do you have to say about it?
I've heard people say things like that. I don't necessarily agree or share with that viewpoint that forget about your qualification in Nigeria or your experience. It doesn't matter. It does matter. Why should you say it doesn't matter? It does
mm,
matter. To me, it's just a matter of perspective. Yeah.
mhm,
This is a different environment. The operational environment here is different to the operational environment wherever you came from.
mm.
All what you need to do is to adapt to the operational environment, the new operational environment you find yourself. But your
Yeah.
experience cannot be discarded in the name of the fact that it's not in England. No, I disagree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're good with data set, if you're good with building, with coding, you're good at it, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you are in Asia, wherever you are. It's just that
Mm.
the standards vary from landscape to landscape. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
landscape might have a few quality assurance issues put in place, which may not be the same like what you're used to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It might be that here, the way surgeries, the procedure for carrying out surgery might be different from the way they carried out in a place like America. Mental
Yeah.
health acts might be different from country to country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, you may not have things like malaria because it's a tropical illness, so it varies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Here, you might be dealing with things that has to do with temperate regions. So it varies from landscape to landscape. You just need to
Yeah.
adapt. That's all.
Mm.
But we cannot disregard anybody's experience and say it's not important or it's irrelevant. I disagree with that totally.
Thank you. So the next question is is there any form of model or a good system that people can use to track their progress?
Yes, there are tons of it.
Mhm,
What I normally suggest and recommend is a good system blends visibility,
mhm,
yeah,
mm,
with accountability and adaptability.
mm,
One effective method is the goal, milestone, task approach.
mm,
So you have a goal you want to achieve, then the milestone,
mm,
and then the task. So you break it down from goal, the milestone, the task that you want to do. Okay. So
mhm,
the goal would be, first of all, secure a role as a product designer in 6 months. That could be your goal.
mhm,
Yeah. To secure a role as a product designer in 6 months' time. Okay.
mm, mm,
Now, if that is your goal, then let's look at the milestone. The milestones could be complete a UX bootcamp.
mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Another milestone could be build a portfolio. Yeah.
mm,
Another one could be apply to 30 jobs. Yeah.
mm,
Another one could be attend 5 networking events. These are different milestones towards
mm,
securing that role. Yeah. So for
mm,
you to get that role in 6 months' time, you got to attend, complete a UX bootcamp, build a portfolio, apply to 30 jobs, and the task could be that dedicate 1 hour per day to
mm,
learning. Yeah. Updating your LinkedIn, reaching out to 2 professionals per week. That could be the task you set towards these milestones that will feed into the goal. Yeah. Now you could have a simple spreadsheet. Yeah. Where you track these things. You could use a tool like Trello board. Okay.
okay.
Or Notion or Google Sheets. Yeah. And schedule weekly check-ins with yourself or maybe a coach or mentor
Yeah.
to reflect on wins, setbacks, and adjustments needed. The key thing here would be consistency,
Mm,
reflection, and a willingness to pivot where necessary. Does that make sense?
yeah. Yeah. That's thank you so much for that. And my other question is, sometimes people finding that desired breakthrough in that particular sector they are looking for to break it. It can be sometimes it can be challenging. You know what what can people like somebody who is finding it difficult to break even? Do you have any kind of advice for them or something?
Persistence. You got to be persistent, be consistent with what you're
Mm,
doing, and look for a coach or mentor. What I always
mm,
tell people is look for anybody
mm,
who is stable, successful in the area you want to go into.
mm,
Find out how they did it, learn
mm,
from their mistakes,
Yeah.
and follow their footpath,
Mhm.
and then you're on your way to success. Whatever they tell you to do, do it. Because they've done it before.
Yeah.
They've been successful.
Mm.
So if you follow what they've done and be successful, might be tweaking your CV, might be getting some certifications, might be they might invite you to join some communities of like-minded people where you participate in professional discussions, and through that discussion you're learning a lot. Maybe you need to go into a boot camp to learn practical experience, whatever they suggest, because there's so many things that you can do on the path to success. But the
Yeah.
key thing is persist. Like I said before, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's something that, over time you get it.
Okay, that will bring me to my last question today. Yeah,
Yeah.
for today's episode. And some people have passion for some things, like people who are creative, like people who are writers, for example, who have
Yep.
passion for some certain jobs or profession or something.
Yeah.
How can they create a balance with their following their passion and
Mhm.
making a living out of it?
Balancing creativity,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and practicality
Mhm.
begins with number one, identifying your core non-negotiables.
Yes.
What must be met financially and emotionally,
Mm.
and what can be flexed. Many creatives build parallel pathways.
Mm.
Yeah. They sustain themselves with practical roles, example, freelance
Yeah.
gigs, part-time
Mhm.
work,
Mhm.
consulting. Yeah. While gradually growing their passion-driven brand,
Mhm.
platform, or product. So here, time blocking is essential.
Mhm.
How you utilize your time, effective time management skills.
Yeah.
You know, you can allocate regular hours to passion projects while ensuring income stability.
Mhm.
It's also smart to look for overlaps, creative work that pays. For example, content creation,
Mhm.
branding, UX design. But don't forget that this thing is not like magic that you turn a sweet light
Yeah.
and it comes on. You
Yeah.
got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You know, a lot
Mm.
of times people talk about, oh, YouTube, oh, this, you can monetize it. But it's not just when you start today, you get monetized tomorrow. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
it takes time to build that, to
Yeah.
build up your audience up to a point of it getting monetized.
Yeah.
But if you're consistent with the right
Mhm.
strategy,
Yeah.
you'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking for that creative work that pays can be both fulfilling
Mhm.
and financially viable.
Mm.
And lastly, treat your creative dream like a business.
Mhm.
Don't just say it's a side gig. Treat it like a business.
Mm.
Set goals, track progress, and you know what? Celebrate milestones.
That is very important. Very important.
Very, very.
Celebrating milestones. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Uwem. It's been a wonderful section today. Before we call it a wrap today, do you have any last word for viewers?
Everything in life is doable. Everything
Yeah.
is doable. Setting goals is very important. Tracking your goals is very important. And also, your passion is equally important.
Yeah.
So make sure that you don't ignore your passion. Make it a business as well, if possible. Put in some good amount of time to build it so that it can even become economically viable as well.
Thank you so
Don't
much.
ignore, don't ignore it.
Very, very important. Thank you so much, Mr. Uwem. It's been a pleasure having you on the show today. And we'll meet again next week.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank
And
you.
to our incredible audience, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you
Stay
so much.
tuned. Exciting times are coming. Thank you.
Thank you.